especially last few years, all these conspiracy theorists focus mainly exposing all the hidden agendas, and yet the masses really struggling or turning the blind eye to the spirituality as if it is the optional factor, but it is not. The selection is everywhere. Everything that we do with the amount of toxic programming throughout thousands of years, yet we prioritize selecting. Whether you go to a school, whether you have friendships or the religion or anything and everything, we prioritize selecting. How do you transfer this kind of wisdom into our spirituality? What is the natural selection? The healthy ecosystem is all about the vibrant, strong, most breathtaking expressions of every particles in our ecosystem is the most healthy environment. When we focus onto our own self, the human species, the selection is the strong foundation. Although we always understand all these, the victimhood and the anger and the resentment and the jealousy, all these expressions are there. It's not for us to get stuck and get consumed by. They are expressions of the weaker parts of our human existence, so we can prioritize healing ourselves. When we speak about spirituality, it is not an optional factor. It is necessary for our healthy mind, body, and the spirit, because it is the journey to heal. The human species have to perfect all these expressions and understood and remove these karmic obligations or karmic cycles, so that we can become the most vibrant, elevated expression of our human consciousness. The healthy family is the foundation. But it is the most difficult one, because the external factors, the low vibrational, toxic, parasitic system is always there to distract you. Just like in the school, we aren't given all the answers effortlessly. We have to pay attention, we have to be selective, we have to stay focused, so that we will liberate ourselves from the karmic journey, so that we can elevate into the enlightenment of our human consciousness. This is why it's there. It's not a waste, but it is for us to understood and eliminate ourselves from the cycle of karmic life. This is why it's there. It is why it's really important for us to heal our ancestral karmic cycle. But it is not the most pleasant thing. In fact, it is the most unpleasant, it's the most painful journey to go through. Why on earth people will turn the attention to self and see the parts that you are playing into these low vibrational factors in life's journey. It is horrific. It's extremely painful, because we are all part of these low vibrational expressions itself. We play part into these cycles of suffering, because we prioritize going out there paying attention, being programmed so that we will overlook all these low vibrational pockets in within our existence. Instead, we create the value, the ego self, the your importance in the society, in the family, because you want to shine. But it is also parasitic, just like the cancer. Cancer is there, it get a lot of attention, but it's not the most healthiest part of ourselves. So it's there because it's the area that you need to heal. And our low vibrational spiritual journey, healing our ancestral trauma bodies, is one of those things, because this is how we lay these strong foundation within your family, and then the community, extended family cycles, and then you transfer this level of strength into our communities and our countries. In such an environment, the wars and all these horrible things we are experiencing, there is no room. Then there is no reason for us to suffer so needlessly, because we have taken care of all the areas that we need to heal within the family unit. This is how we accomplish anything important, world peace, and all these important things, because we are playing part into the suffering. This is what we need to recognize. Um, we are always thinking, oh, this is happening in our community, people go hungry, the poverty is there, the war displacement is there, and there is area, the exploitation of humans, exploitations of children. This is all happening around us because we are not healed, and we haven't prioritized healing our ancestral trauma. The other factor is what we are hearing so much lately is the exploitations of children, and all these horrible things that people are enduring because people don't have empathy. They are psychopathic, they are parasitic, they are very hostile. They cannot recognize another person's suffering. So this is not the development, this is not the elite, it is parasitic, and it is very, very important for us to recognize and understand what is really happening in our environment. Even though they are not happening directly into your family, because we are walking around unhealed trauma bodies, this is why it's happening in the world stage. This is how we get into this spiritual path, instead of turning blind eye, instead of making excuses, instead of pretending we don't understand the spirituality, it doesn't affect me, I am not really spiritual, I am mechanical, I have enough resources. This is way to nowhere. There's no healing there. You can be extremely educated and successful in a financial manner, or it doesn't mean that you are immune to all these low vibrational parts of yourself. We make excuses thinking that we aren't hurting, we aren't jealous, we aren't angry, we aren't stressed, we have the team support. We pretend all these things are happening because you accomplish your financial goals. Absolutely far from the truth. Otherwise, all these wealthy elite would have so many important changes that is happening to or create for the society, but instead they are sucking energetics, energy sucking vampires, and hostile to any kind of peace. They can't stand it, so they have to go create systems that's causing enormous level of pain and suffering for the others, and especially the youngsters that who never have a chance of learning anything, because they are exposed to enormous level of toxicity and hostility from these groups of psychopaths. This is a factor, but because we are unhealed trauma bodies, we are willing to overlook these. We never question, because we are internally, we are suffering, we are also hurting, and we have all these baggage that we have to unravel. This is why healing our ancestral trauma body is something that is very, very important, because we know these people live in beautiful homes and extremely toxic environments. Their hearts are hurting, a lack of support, but everything on the surface seems somewhat perfect. But we know, because we are empathic souls, we recognize that despite all the programming, despite all the hostility, despite all these this disconnected programming, we recognize this warmth, that's little particles of warmth from a human soul. There is this enormous level of connection. You can recognize there is warmth, there is compassion, there is cry for help is there. So this is why these empathic souls and its conspiracy theorists always prioritize educating self and others who is willing to listen. So then these people have done all the hard work. We have to open our minds and our hearts and make that spiritual connection. Spirituality is not optional. It is necessary for the human progress, mind, body, and spirit. This is where we're making any kind of meaningful changes into our human condition. Although we are blaming all the external factors, we have to recognize our willing participation into this destruction, because we didn't recognize how important to protect and the nurture the young generations and the family members and the friendship groups and the people in the community, because nobody likes to suffer in silence. Nobody likes to feel painful, because we understand this is a huge um, thing that everyone is like exposed to level of suffering because of these toxic trauma bodies walking around unhealed, and they never think twice to hurt another individual, another animal. Cruelty is there. So this is there, these expressions of horrendous existence is there, so that we can heal. These are the unhealed parts of our family unit, our extended family, our friendships, and the community, and the world itself. These expressions are there, so these are the areas we need to prioritize and heal and really liberate ourselves.